next is a game called Halver from Gologames. Halver? Like halves? I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so it is Halver. What's happening? Okay. All right. Overall, very cool. I think that my notes mainly are that there's some shots in here that are a little bit overwhelming. I think that we probably could have spent a little bit more time showing the mechanic being used, and also maybe in places that are a little bit less visually confusing. So I mean, this part worked well, and then after that we got into like falling. I think like this shot feels like a mid to late part of the trailer shot, because I think I'm still getting oriented here. You know, I want to see at least one more example of it being used, which I mean the next shot is that. But and I do like how within this one shot you show how, you know, it's not just splitting things in half. Also the physics means that you know, all these scenarios pop up. So I think that's a really good shot. Also, congrats on the, well, not congrats, good job on the eye trace here, which I think in some parts, like here, like, so we have the shot here, or the character there, and then you follow into the next one. So great on that. I think there's some other parts where it doesn't work as well, but overall, I think it was nice. This part is where I first started getting confused, because in this one, I didn't know what the player was doing, if anything. So this one, I'm like, what's going on? Because like this shot here is like, you know, game mechanic explanation. Here, this feels like a sort of like late game, you know, this is how crazy things can get sort of shot. And then this one here is like another like explaining how the game works, which that's a good shot. And then this part here, so I'm also a little confused about what this thing's role is in all of this. Like, is it your cursor? It's not like a super important detail. And then like little parts here, like I feel like, because you're trying to show this gravity thing here, which I mean you are showing it, but I just feel like maybe if we were limited a little bit, we limited the frame a little bit more, so then what we're supposed to be looking at is much more the focus, rather than like splitting attention with what's over here. And then here, like, so I think at first I didn't get that this was the gravity thing. For a second, I thought maybe it was related to this red thing, but then I realized later on that the red is just like a no pass zone. Let me see here, but this is cool. I don't know. I mean, all the stuff in the background, it's visually appealing, a little bit distracting. Because I mean, especially in situations like this, because I mean here, this and this is the hero of the shot, and I'm not really looking at the characters, which is probably your intent too. Oh, and that was really cool actually. Did that split that? Yeah. I felt like, and then there, I don't know why you're shooting these things. I don't know what that's doing. And then here, this sort of like implies some sort of like scope, or like maybe it's like Mega Man style, or maybe it's branching paths. I don't know. So that felt like a pretty good note about like, hey, there's also like a certain element of choice in this game. Also, is there a call to action? There's no call to action. Always put a call to action, to quote my friend Chris Zukowski. So yes, you have a Steam page description link here, or a YouTube description Steam link here, but still put it here. Just put wishlist on Steam or something like that on here, because if this gets reposted somewhere, or even if you repost it on like Twitter or some other place, people are not, unless they're really, really interested, they're probably not going to do their due diligence to like Google it and find out what platforms it's on. Just make it easier on people. Just say wishlist on Steam, put a little Steam logo or something like that, or just say wishlist on Steam so people know. Yeah. But otherwise, on this outro here, like, because you haven't, I mean, the red blocks, I feel like this shot feels like it's intended to make us feel like nervous and like have this element of suspense, like, oh my god, how are they going to get out of the situation? But I feel like the like threat of the red blocks hasn't really been established, because I think in the whole trailer you didn't actually show them hitting a red block and then getting an error or something like that. So I can't really have suspense about falling into the lava unless I know it's lava, basically. So this last shot, it's not like super duper, it's not really a super duper good button, because usually the point of a button in a trailer is just to basically show something so either over the top or different from what's already been shown, or bigger in scope that people go, whoa, like I was talking before about how like how showing two shots can sort of expand people's minds. So like if all the shots in the trailer of like were like a difficulty about here, then you can be like, oh, game might be kind of boring. But then you have a button shot where like, oh my god, this is like how crazy it can get. Then we can like interpolate all everything that might come in between those. So like that's sort of one idea of how a button can work. Or like the other example I give is like in the movie Inception, the trailer, for the most part, most of the trailer, we're just in what looks like sort of like regular European cities. And then all of a sudden they're in the snow. It's like, whoa, how do they get to the snow? So just something that's thrown in there to like show like a big contrasting moment to make us imagine the possibilities. So, but the game itself looks cool. Just the trailer just a little bit visually confusing. And again, this is like the last 10-15% of polish sort of thing. I think we still get it overall. But I just feel like there's mechanics in here that I could be understanding better if like the sequence was different, or the capture was a little bit less busy in some spots. But overall, it looks pretty cool.